Hi everyone, so today we're going to have our logs quiz review for your quiz tomorrow. The first thing we're going to do is a homework review. So yesterday we worked with condensing logs. So I gave you guys the expanded form and we have to go back and condense it to make it just into one single logarithm. So a way to think of it is when you see the word condense, you're only going to want to see the word log once. When I tell you expand the log, you're going to want to see the word log more than once in the answer. So for the first problem, you had 5 log x plus 7 log y minus 3 log z. Now remember, whenever there's a number in front, that means what? That means it originally was an exponent. So wherever there's a number in front, we're going to bring it back up to the into the exponent spot. And then also at the same time, whenever we have a plus sign, plus means what? It means multiplication, and subtraction signs means what? It means division. So let's go ahead and let's get rid of these numbers in front of the logs first. So first, once we do that, we have log x to the 5th plus log y to the 7th minus log z to the 3rd. Okay, so once we're at this step now, we're almost there. So we still need some more condensing done. So now, like I just said, when we have this plus sign, that means we're going to end up multiplying. And when we have this subtraction sign, that means what? It means division. So we're going to group x to the 5th and y to the 7th. So now we have log x to the 5th, y to the 7th, minus log z to the 3rd. Now we're going to do what? Worry with this subtraction sign. So now we have log x to the 5th, y to the 7th over z to the 3rd. This is our final answer. Because why? Because we only have the word log written once. And z to the 3rd is in the denominator. Why? Because immediately, whatever's immediately right after that subtraction sign, that goes into the denominator. And if we know y to the 7th isn't in the denominator, why? Because if anything else was supposed to be in the denominator, it would have parentheses around it. So let's try this one. Log to the 7, or log 7 minus 2 log 12. What is the first thing we got to get rid of over here? This 2 in front. So where's that 2 going? It's going back up to the top because it's an exponent. So now we have log 7 minus log 12 squared. So now I just went ahead and simplified. So now I have log 7 minus log 144. Now, at this stage, you can't subtract 7 minus 144. Why? Because we're condensing logs. We're not adding and subtracting them. A subtraction sign means what? It means division. So now we have log 7 over 144. So our final answer is log 7 divided by 144. How about this one? Log 2 plus log 11 plus log 7. So now, expanded form, right? So now we want to go ahead and condense it. So we do log 2 times 11 times 7. And we can go ahead and simplify that. We can go ahead and multiply all three of these numbers together. And our final answer would be log 154. How about this one? 6 log u plus 6 log v. Okay, remember, numbers in front means it was originally an exponent. So what we're going to do is bring it back up into the spot where the exponent would be. So now we have log u6 plus log v6. Not done condensing yet. Why? Because we have log written how many times? Twice. We only want to see it once. This addition sign means what? Multiplication. So our final answer is log u to the 6th, v to the 6th. How about this one? ln x minus 4 ln y. First thing let's get rid of is this 4. So we have ln x minus ln y to the 4th. Okay, so now once we're there, what do we have left? We have this subtraction sign. What does subtraction mean? That means we're going to be using division. So pull out the ln. So we have ln. And then we have x over y to the fourth. Remember, whatever is before this subtraction sign goes in top, and whatever is directly attached to that subtraction sign is going to go into the denominator or into the bottom. So now here's our quiz review. So on your quiz, you're going to be expanding logs, condensing logs, and solving logarithmic equations for x. So we kind of went over the other day the rules for expanding logs. We did some problems in class, and then you also did some homework on them. I went ahead and found the different properties that we can have. So the first two we're not really going to worry about. It's more or less these last three: property 3, property 4, and property 5. That's what's basically going to be on your quiz when I tell you expand a log. So property 3 tells us if we have log base a of x times y. To expand it, we're going to be using something called the product rule. So when we expand the log, we're going to put a addition sign between. So it's log base a of x plus log base a of y. And all we do when we expand logs is whatever this log is, we attach it to whatever x is and whatever y is. Property 4, it's the quotient rule. So it tells us log base a of x over y. So division means we're going to be subtracting. So this property tells us we're going to have whatever log is, you attach it to the x and you attach it to the y. So we have log base a of x minus log base a of y. Now, a could be any number. You might not have any number there. That's completely fine. Remember, x could be any number, y could be any number, or I can give you a combination of variables and numbers. It could be any combination. And lastly, property 5 tells us it's our power rule. So wherever there's an exponent, what are you going to do with it? You're going to bring it down into the front of log. So here we have log base a of x to the y power. So to expand it, we're going to use something called the power rule. And when we do that, we have y times log base a of x. All we did was take this exponent, whatever's up here, and brought it down into the front. Now on a quiz, on your homework I know I gave you, I can combine all these properties into one question. And then we have the same thing, properties for condensing logs. So you're going to be working backwards. So we have, once again, properties 1 and 2. We're not going to concern ourselves with those for the quiz. But properties 3 through 5, we should really know. So property 3 tells us it's the product rule. If you have log base a of x plus log base a of y, we want to condense them. We want to make it into a single log. How are we going to do that? Well, the plus sign means what? It means product, or it means multiplication. So our simplified answer, our condensed answer, is log base a of x times y. How about for property 4? That's our quotient rule. So it tells us if you see something like log base a of x minus log base a of y, we want to simplify that. We want to make it into a single log. We only want to see log written once. Well, we have a what? We have a subtraction sign here. So the subtraction means what? Division. So our simplified version of this would be log base a of x over y. And then lastly, property 5. That's our power rule. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see a number, or you're going to see y in front, and then you're going to have log base a of x. Now we want to simplify it. So you could argue with me and you could say, well, technically it already is simplified because there's no plus, there's no minus in here, so technically it's already simplified. When you have the number in front of log, that means you originally have an exponent in the original problem. So to simplify it, all we're going to do is bring that exponent back into the front. So now our simplified answer is log base a of x to the y power. So let's practice. Let's expand this log. We have log y over x to the fifth. So first thing I just did was I rewrote it. So on your quiz tomorrow, I'm going to put expand the log, condense the log. Or expand or condense the log. So you got to pay attention to what the problem is asking you to do. So here we need to expand it. So you have log y over x to the fifth. Okay, so we know when we have a division sign, that means subtraction. So we're going to attach log to the y and attach log to the x. So now we have log y minus log x to the fifth. Not fully done just yet. Why? Because now you have an what? Exponent here. So we got to simplify the exponent by bringing it down into the front. So when we do that, we have log y minus 5 log x. This right here is your final answer. Let's try this one. Log 5 times 6. Now, if I want you to expand a log and it's just two numbers, I'm not going to give it to you guys as log of 30. I'm going to give it to you like log 5 times 6. So we have a what? A multiplication dot here. So to expand it, it's going to be log 5 plus log 6. That's your final answer. Remember, we're not adding 5 and 6 together. It's the expanded form of this is log 5 plus log 6. How about this one? Log 3 times 5 squared. So break it up. Log 3 plus log 5 squared. Not done just yet. Why? Because we have the 2 as the exponent, so we got to bring the 2 down into the front. So our final answer is log 3 plus 2 log 5. How about this one? We have log base 5 of a to the third over b to the third. Okay, now what did I do? All I gave you here now is I gave you a base of 5. Just carry that base of 5 whenever you write log. Now instead of like you did in these problems where you just rewrote log, now you're just going to rewrite log base 5 every single time. So division means what? It means subtraction. So now we have log base 5 of a to the third minus log base 5 of b to the third. Not done just yet because we have what? These exponents up here. Got to simplify them. So let's bring them down to the front. So we have 3 log base 5 of a minus 3 log base 5 of b.